Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, second live stream of the day. This time, team news reaction, Manchester United versus Chelsea. The team news has dropped. With Chelsea, we were pretty much, literally spot on. We had their starting 11 literally spot on, I do believe. As for Manchester United, a couple of little surprises here and there, perhaps. The main one being this man over here, Anthony, is in the side for Marcus Rashford. Of course, the second Marcus Rashford is dropped or rotated or however you want to word it. It's pretty big news. Rashford is a big name in the Premier League these days. So the second that he is rotated into this or rotated out of this sort of game, I should say, I do feel like it's big news. So we do need to discuss it. We also need to discuss the rest of the Manchester United team as well. And basically give our final thoughts ahead of kickoff. But before that, get in the chat and let me know, guys, how you are doing. Hey, what up, AJ, bro? I'm pretty good, mate. I'm pretty darn good. I'm looking forward to this game. A little bit nervous, I'll be honest. I think there's a lot riding on this. I said it a lot this afternoon. It feels like must win. We've got to win. We have to find a way. We just have to find a way. I don't mind what that way is, but we have to win. 9,000 steps a day, decent. Hopefully our midfielders cover a bit more than that, but we'll see. I think they'll have to. How are we anyway, guys? How are we feeling? Now that team news has dropped, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling going into kickoff? A couple of areas of concern for me personally. Also a couple of areas where I think Ten Hag may have made a decent decision. Valza, good to see you, mate. So, a couple of concerns. We'll start off with that. Wan-Bissaka at left back. It's not ideal. Realistically, I don't know that we had much other option, to be fair, but it's not ideal. And the other thing, Casemiro. You guys know where I stand on Casemiro these days. I still think he's a good footballer. I still think he has a lot to offer. But I'm not sure this sort of game is going to suit him. I think this is going to be a real open game. Sorry, guys, I'm just quickly checking what the bench is. I think this is going to be a real open game. So to have Casemiro in there is a little bit concerning because he does struggle with the legs in midfield, 1v1 dueling. But we're going to have to wait and see. In terms of the good team selection, I think Garnacho against Gusto, I would have liked to have seen Garnacho given the break, but in my opinion, I do understand it. We mentioned this in stream this afternoon. Alex said about it. Garnacho's defensive work rate up against Gusto. Gusto will go up and down this right-hand side all night long. He's really good at doing it. And Garnacho is more likely to track him than what Marcus Rashford is. So I do understand it. As for Anthony on the other side, a little bit of a shock, but I think he done well against Liverpool when he came on. I think he done alright the other day against Brentford. And he actually started the last game against Chelsea. That game where I feel we played pretty well. This was our front four in that game. So perhaps that's the reason we've gone with it again. I think he will bring pressing intensity. Again, he will track Cucurella. Chelsea do like to push their fullbacks forward. So perhaps that could be the reasoning. I am just quickly going to look through our bench. In terms of the bench options we have today, Tom Heaton, lovely stuff. Johnny Evans, Kambwala, Rashford, McTominay, Ahmad, Ericsson, Amrabat, Mason Mount. Probably the strongest bench we've had all season. There is a lot of quality on that bench. And for once, I would say players who can come on affect it. Come on the pitch and make a difference. Rashford in particular would probably be the big one, but Mason Mount as well. Ahmad, Ericsson and Amrabat have the ability to change the tempo of a game. So, yeah, I don't mind the bench. I think it's pretty strong. We're going to lose this match. That's the spirit. I love to see that. I'm wondering if we're going to see any quotes about why Rashford is out of the 11. I wonder if Ten Hag will be asked about that. I would expect him to be. So here we go. I decided for Marcus Rashford on the bench for rotation to keep him and the team fresh through a busy period with another big game on Sunday. Okay. Truthfully, I don't know that is the answer. I know he has been nursing a bit of a knock recently. He didn't really play over the international break much because of it. But do you not rest Garnacho in that situation is my only thought. Was it 30, 31 games now in a row he started? So I would have probably rotated Garnacho before Rashford. But we know Rashford's had injury problems, so I guess it does kind of make sense. Anything concerning you there in the Chelsea lineup? It's pretty strong. It's pretty much their strongest, realistically, at the moment, with players they've got available. I would say this is Chelsea's strongest team right now. There's some threats in there. There's some really good players, but it's a particularly young team. And we've all seen it over the past 18 months. Not a team which is particularly well gelled, which, lacking cohesion and things like that. So maybe we can exploit that side of their game. I have a slight concern with our centre-back pairing. Maguire, Varane. Now, I don't have an issue with the pair of them. I think they're actually really good, and I quite like them together at times. I wonder if it'll be the other way around with Maguire and Varane, perhaps. Varane being better with his left foot. Probably will be the case. They probably will swap round. Which might point to something tactically. I'm not too sure. Interested to get your guys' thoughts on that. The main reason I'm concerned about them, though, is simply because Maguire came back from injury in midweek. You know, he got injured during the international break. Then came back at half-time, was it? Sorry, at the weekend, not midweek. And then Varane went off at half-time the other day. So, how sharp are they? How fit are they? How ready are they? Not too sure. So, a slight concern. I'm also interested to see how it's going to line up at the back. What's the sort of formation we're going to go for? Because if Wan-Bissaka tucks into a back three, it does leave Maguire in this slightly odd position. The idea of Maguire getting isolated by Mudryk is horrifying, to tell the truth. And I do wonder, with this particular lineup, do we move Dalot to left back? Will Ten Hag do it? Because there would be something to gain by doing it. If you move Dalot over to this side of the pitch, he'll still invert in here. Kobe goes a little bit higher, I would imagine, with Casemiro playing. Varane left centre-back, Maguire middle centre-back, which suits him. Wan-Bissaka to deal with the threat of Mudryk. I like the look of that a little bit more, personally. It perhaps leaves our right-hand side looking questionable going forward, but I think defensively it works a little bit better. Josh, good to see you, mate. We're winning this game tonight. I hope so. I really do hope so. What would your guys' score predictions be for this game? How are we feeling now that lineup is out? I was thinking earlier today, 3-1 was what I had in my head. 3-1 to Manchester United. Again, I said it a lot this afternoon, and I'll say it again. Expect shots. Expect chaos. Expect end-to-end football. I think we're going to see all of that in this game. Counts in 2-0, Anthony and Rasmus to score. I'm on the 3-1 train. I like it. 2-1 United, 3-1 to United, 4-2. I'll take it. If Chad's here, he'll say 6-1. Wan-Bissaka's positioning was poor in the last game. He was either playing people onside or letting people get past him and having to recover. It was like he was daydreaming out there. Do you think moving him to the right-hand side of defence might help him a little bit? Kind of simplify his game, back to basics, playing on his stronger side? It's a weird one with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. We've covered it quite a lot. I like the idea of keeping Dalot on his stronger side because he's been very good recently. Dalot, this is. But balance-wise, he is better on the left than what Wan-Bissaka is. And Wan-Bissaka, at least defensively, could try and cope with Mudryk. I'm not too sure. It's an interesting one to think about. I smell a red card. Matt, that concerns me because I have the same feeling. So, that's a difficult one. A difficult one? Sorry, I read a different message. Yeah, that's an interesting one. We both got a vibe of a red card. Ideally not for us. Ideally not. It's a tough decision, AJ? Yeah, it is. It is. It's really tough. The need for crossing is less with McTominay out of the side. I like that as a point. So Dalot right side is not as crucial. I like that. I think that's actually very, very relevant. It also, with Casemiro in the side, if we were to do it this way round, allows us to keep Kobe and Dalot close to each other. Two technical players who work quite nicely, I feel. Plus then we've got Bruno Fernandes's work rate to try and help out Casemiro a little bit, who does struggle defensively. Having Bruno's ability to get up and down the pitch could work. In terms of what we were talking about on stream this afternoon, we kept mentioning how this area over here was sort of an area of real concern for United tonight, because we had initially this morning Wan-Bissaka over this side, we had Maguire towards this side, we had our concerns. Suddenly, Dalot over here, Varane over here, Garnacho tracking back. It looks a little bit more positive, if you ask me. It does look a little bit more positive. My concern, probably my big concern, and I don't just want to target the lad, it is Casemiro. It is Casemiro in and out of possession. He might shut me up. He might have a worldy performance tonight, and boy, I really hope he does. I really hope he does. I would want nothing more. But I'm concerned in possession, someone like Gallagher applying pressure. And I'm worried about out of possession, purely the transition-based approach to the game. Although, on that topic of Gallagher pressure, Chelsea tend to set up like this, right? You can see it on the screen. Enzo to the left of Caicedo. This is their confirmed starting 11. If they choose Chelsea to go man-to-man, it does put Gallagher on Dalot, Enzo on Casemiro. Which, Enzo Fernandez is still a good presser, but he's not Gallagher levels. Does that help Casemiro out a little bit? You know, if Chelsea want to try and play that man-to-man game, then I feel like we kind of take them on a little bit. You know, get at them. Because if they want to go man-for-man with us, our attack can hurt them. It can hurt anyone in the world, and Chelsea are no different. They're not great defensively. Again, they are passive. That's the important thing here. So if Chelsea do ever try and squeeze us and go for this man-to-man approach, Casemiro might actually be more okay with things this way around. He might be more okay. Sorry I missed the stream earlier. No worries, Josh, mate. No worries. How similar was your lineup to this one? So I believe this afternoon we were kind of debating between Casemiro, McTominay and Mount, who to start. We were a little bit unsure, but I think we ended up with Casemiro. And then we had Rashford for Anthony. But apart from that, I think this is the lineup we ended up with. Partly because obviously in a defence we don't have many other choices at all. But this was roughly what we were leaning to. By the way, guys, there's over 100 people here, which is insane. If you could leave a like on the stream if you enjoy it, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Really helps the channel. But also, get in the chat and let me know your thoughts. Areas of concern in this game, things you're positive about, hopeful about. Let me know what you're thinking. Ten Hag has to adapt according to Chelsea's midfield, the easiest way to win this match. Yeah, it might sound a little bit cliche, but the midfield is important today. I think it always is, obviously, right? But it feels like it holds particular value in this game. Because when Dalot inverts, which I think he will do, whether he plays left back or right back, I think he will move inside. It is going to give us that extra player in midfield. The question is, can we take advantage of it? Can we take advantage of it? If we can, we are either going to 2 versus 1 Caicedo in these areas up here, which is a positive thing for us to do. Caicedo does not like being isolated in this way. Or Fernandez will stay deeper, but then we have the extra number in the first phase. So we should have an overload in midfield one way or the other, which is definitely a positive sign for us. Where and when do you bring in Mount? I wonder if Mount comes on for Mainu 60-65 minutes into the game. One, to get some minutes in the legs of Mason Mount, 20-25 minutes. But also, I've said it quite a lot, we need to protect Kobbie. We need to protect him. We can't overplay him. I think Ten Hag has done a good job of subbing him, bringing him off early in games. I kind of see that being a fairly like-for-like change positionally with what Ten Hag will do. So that would be my guess. Obviously, we could see McTominay come in there, possibly as well. And also, Mason Mount could come on out wide. Either way, I would like to see him tonight. And I want to see him come on when he does and make an impact. I want to see grab the ball and make stuff happen. Get touches on the ball. But just carry the ball forward, press out with possession. I'm sure he'll do those things, but I want to see that. If we Pedri Kobbie Mainoo, I will throw hands. Yeah, we've got an army here on the channel who will be after the people responsible if we overplay Kobbie Mainoo. I think Palmer will give Varane issues in the outside channels. Yeah, it'd definitely be a concern. I think Palmer is really probably the player we highlight as Chelsea's big threat, right? He's quite clearly pretty decent at football. He's had a really good season. Can I highlight him like this? No, bosh, we can. Look at that. He's had a really good season, really good player. One thing he does lack is explosiveness. He's not a quick player. He's a good ball carrier. But he's not someone who's going to burst past a man. So that slower game might suit Varane. Varane's a really good 1 versus 1 defender when he's not playing against explosive athletes. So that might help. The other thing which might help is that Palmer will naturally, now this circle's in a way, which is lovely, will naturally want to come inside onto his stronger left foot. Obviously, at times he'll go wide, but naturally he'll want to come inside. That could suit Dalot. His way of defending, the way he approaches slide tackles, coming inside might help him there. Dalot might need to stay inverted in midfield so he can consistently overload them. The quantity and quality, Bruno and Mainoo over all of their midfielders, to be honest. Yeah, I think Dallo inverting is always important for us at the moment. I like it from a tactical point of view, but I think it's particularly important here. I think it's crucial. AJ, over or 100 swear words used during a Brentford game. Honestly, slightly less than normal in the Brentford game because from the start we were just bad, so there was almost nothing to get behind. So actually in that game it was under, but normally it's over, I would say. Excited to watch Anthony's masterclass? Yeah, what are your thoughts on Anthony? We haven't really touched on that yet. How do we feel about Anthony starting this game? What are you expecting from him? I personally think he done well when he came on against Liverpool. I think he was positive. He was, taking people on. I would say he was not direct, but he was moving the ball forward. I think he done okay against Brentford. Sorry, when he came on. I think he done okay there. I'm expecting work rate, not much else. I wonder if Ten Hag has made a tactical decision here. I don't know if it's just resting Marcus Rashford. I wonder if there is something tactical here. So let's get rid of this box because we don't need it. Let's talk about Chelsea attacking real quick. And we're going to talk about Anthony's counter-attacking ability, which isn't something we normally really highlight because I don't think it's a strength of his particularly. But if we talk about, again, what Chelsea like to do in possession, we covered it earlier. Is this the starting 11 confirmed? Yep, these are the two starting 11s. Chelsea in possession, what they will do is Jackson will, of course, lead the line. Someone like Mudryk will come inside. Someone like Cole Palmer will go inside. Gusto will then fly around on the overlap. Cucurella, slightly more reserved, but still likes to get forward. Now, what Chelsea do from here, obviously Gallagher's going to move forward as well. They're often got 6 players on the last line, that 3-1-6 shape, we've all seen it. But what can sometimes happen is you get Badiashile in the middle, Disasi here, Caicedo here, and Enzo Fernandez here. Now, sometimes it'll be a back 3 like we've got here with one in front. Sometimes it'll be more like a 2-2 shape. I wonder if the plan behind Anthony playing is the fact that he is left-footed. So when we are able to transition, particularly down this side of the pitch, coming inside onto his left, did we just get a new subscriber? I think I missed it. But if so, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the content on the channel. Welcome to the community. Anyway, as Anthony comes inside onto his left foot, because Chelsea lack this player here, does it open up that space? Particularly far side for Garnacho. When Garnacho plays on the right and it's Rashford on the left, we don't have that same pass because we don't have a left footer in the side. With Anthony's left foot, I wonder if him coming inside is looking at opening up this pass here, but also this pass over here. Particularly when Enzo does this in possession. Because, Chelsea are quite fluid in their formation. It's one of my biggest criticisms of them, that they rotate a little bit too much. They move about in this phase a little bit too much. I wonder if the plan is to kind of nick the ball back in these situations, get the ball to Anthony here, and as he comes inside onto his left foot, naturally what happens is that Enzo Fernandez wants to engage. He wants to engage as the ball comes inside. He recognises this cue. Anthony in. That means Fernandez out. Step out towards him. Does it open up these spaces? Can Hojlund spin? Can Garnacho spin? Obviously Bruno in there as well. I wonder if that is some of the thought process behind it. I dare say resting and protecting Rashford comes into it as well. Because, again, we know he's had a knock recently. We know he's had injury troubles in the past. He's not in electric form, although I think he's scored in 3 of his last 4. But I also wonder if some of it is a tactical decision here to get Anthony on the right-hand side, offering us that left foot, something I spoke about after the Brentford game. If you go through our team, with the injuries we've got in defence, there are no left-footers in the side apart from Hojlund, which makes us a little bit one-dimensional, a little bit predictable. We all go the same way. Bringing a left footer into the side gives us a different dynamic, I feel. A little dynamic, something a little bit different. So I wonder if that might be some of the thought process behind it as well. Feeling an Anthony masterclass incoming? I hope so. Good to see you again, Bobby the Bob Bob. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping Anthony can cook something. I'm not sure that he will. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to cook tonight. I'm not going to go as far as that. But hopefully he can be used in a way where he can have a real impact in this game. Because we know out of possession we're going to get work rate. He's going to press. He's going to track back. He's got a chance. He played well last time against Chelsea. He's got a chance. He's a useful squad player for us to have. It gives us Marcus Rashford from the bench, which, by the way, don't rule that out of this game. I know Marcus Rashford isn't starting. Everyone's, or a decent amount of people are happy that he's dropped. Some are disappointed, whatever. it does not mean his role in this game is done. Because if I get the feeling, and I've said it again and again, and you know what, I'm going to say it again, this game is going to be so transitional. I'm convinced of it. I could be wrong, but I think this game is going to be super transition based. Both teams throwing players forward, losing the ball, then the other team throw their players forward. That is going to lead to fatigue, but also space. And that's a combination which Marcus Rashford coming on from the bench eats up. He loves that sort of situation. So whilst Rashford might be on the bench, don't count him out in this game at all. Also, Mason Mount as well. Not the same threat, but again, pure energy coming onto the pitch in a stretched game. He could have a say in this game as well. And, I mean, how poetic would that be? Yes, please. Mason Mount to score a winner. And we don't concede straight after this time. That would be appreciated. But Mason Mount, I do feel that the bench in general has a role to play tonight. Have we seen the Chelsea bench? I personally haven't looked at it yet, but I will quickly check it out. Are we concerned or not too bothered about the Chelsea bench? Mount scores the winner with a banger. I mean, yes, please. Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind. Anthony's definitely good for the pressing part. Nice work rate as well. Yeah, I think he could have a decent role. Mark, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. That reminds me. I meant to do something the other day, but you weren't here. Congratulations. I said that earlier. Is it congratulations on 4 months as a member? Whatever it is. Thank you for 4 months as a member. Thank you very much. Legend. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. If Rashford comes off the bench and scores a couple, it'll be great confidence for him coming into the Liverpool game. Rashford needs confidence. Yeah, I feel like he is a confidence player. I really do. I really do. In terms of going back to, say, the first 60 minutes when we're not looking at subs so much, again, just expect chaos. Just expect pure counter-attacking, transitioning chaos. Which brings us to the question, and I saw someone ask it earlier in chat. Can Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro deal with that? Can they deal with that sort of game? Mark, you have been painted indeed. Thank you very much for being a member for 4 months. But that's not why you've got the mod. You've got it just for your help with everything. On Discord, here in the chat, you're here very regularly. I know schedules haven't been great recently, but that's why you're a mod. I greatly appreciate your support. And I believe also, vows to become a channel go once again. So welcome. And also, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for the support on the channel. And to anyone else who supports the channel. As always, greatly appreciated. And if you're new around here, what we do when that happens is we turn the chat green, which means we spam green love hearts and stuff. But I'm an idiot, so sometimes I say churn the tap because I'm a moron, basically. But turn the chat green, spam some love hearts and say thank you. Show your appreciation to those two guys and the community in general, because it's a really good community. And if you want to join it, to be honest. We've got a Discord server as well, which you can check out. Get involved. It's a good place to be. If you ask me, fairly unbiased, I think Manchester United opinions, but also level-headed ones, is what we aim to bring from me and also from the chat. The 1-2 pass from Anthony and Hojlund to destroy Fernandes and Garnacho attacking the far post, hitting them with pace. Could be big. It could be big. Garnacho, I'm really interested to see how he does in this game. Really interested to see, because I thought at the weekend he was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, he's a young player. Really young player. How old's Garnacho? Really young. And he's played now over 30 games in a row starting. The poor lad's going to be tired. He played for Argentina in midweek, made his debut for them, which is emotionally exhausting as well. The highs and lows of that. I think fatigue is a factor coming into this game, and it's why I wanted him protected. But he hasn't been. So now, as much as you are a young player and I'm aware of long-term development and things like that, you've been picked, you've got to go perform. Garnacho has to raise that level, which we saw at the weekend. At the weekend, it wasn't really good enough. He did, I'm not going to say let himself down or anything like that, because you're allowed to have a bad performance, but he's got to pick it right back up. And that's how he can show that he is ready to be a United starter into next season as well. If he can bounce back from that with a really good performance against, by the way, a quality fullback. Malo Gusto is So good. Those of you which have been around the channel for, you know, maybe a couple of years now, he's special. He's really good, Gusto. And it's going to be difficult for Garnacho against him. But if we can catch Gusto high and then use Garnacho against Disasi. Disasi, is that how you say his name? Disasi, I've heard a few. I think it's Disasi. Garnacho up against him. Yeah, I fancy him. I fancy him to have a good go there and really cause a lot of problems. Outside, inside. I'm excited. I'm also excited to see Garnacho on the left-hand side in general. I do feel that before, he had become a little bit predictable when he played on the left-hand side. He kind of always wanted to do the same thing. Whereas now playing on the right-hand side, we've seen more of a player which overlaps, underlaps, cuts inside, cuts outside, uses right, uses his left. I do feel that he's developed on the right-hand side. Hopefully he can take that to the left-hand side of the attack and then, you know, therefore give himself something different. Give himself something different, make him more unpredictable, more difficult to tackle, particularly in 1-versus-1 situations, which again I think will be key in this game. If he's on it tonight, he could really be on it and be red hot. Red hot. I'm excited to see his performance. I think it's important that if he has another bad game, people don't get on his back and we understand the reasoning why he might have a bad game. The same for a lot of these players. But I'm hoping for a performance from him. AJ, you looking fresh today? Well, thank you very much, sir. I'm glad you noticed. United. Rasmus Hojlund. Haven't spoken about him yet today, really at all. 2 live streams, and we haven't really spoken about Rasmus. The main reason being, I feel like we know what we get from him. Hopefully goals. Hopefully, though, more importantly, chances created for him. If you create chances for him, we know he's a good finisher. We know he can put the ball in the back of the net. We know physically he's going to trouble the centre-backs. There's 2 things I want to see from him tonight in particular, though. One, I want to see the physical ability to go up against these centre-backs. Because at times, United will have to use him as a target man. It's not ideal. I don't think it's his style at all. I don't like it. But at times, it's going to happen. It will happen in this game. And against Brentford, he really struggled with that. Granted, they're really good aerially. He's got to improve in this game. I think it was something he struggled with during the early parts of the season. I then felt since the turn of the year, he's done a better job of using his body. When he does it well, he battles for the ball. When he does it poorly, he's battling the centre-backs. That's the difference for me. Earlier in the season, he had this tendency to kind of focus on the centre-backs behind him, getting physical with them, rather than actually prioritising going towards the ball. Since January, I think we've seen a turn there. Went back to old habits a little bit against Brentford. Apologies for the lag there. But hopefully we're going to see, again, kind of picking up where he left off before his injury. And we're going to see that side of Rasmus Hojlund. If so, I'm excited. The other thing I'm excited by is Hojlund getting behind his defence. Again, I think we're going to see a transitional game. I'll say it again. Hojlund is a transitional striker. It suits him perfectly. He loves running into open space. I would love to see him at times, given the opportunity and the licence really, to move wide. Get into these areas of the pitch. I think when he moves into channels, he's so dangerous. I think it's perhaps a better dynamic with Rashford on the left because he naturally wants to come inside more like an inside forward. But I think Garnacho can have a similar level of success as well. We need to get that dynamic because I always feel as though the second you get running across centre-backs and you make these crisscross movements as you go across, I always feel that it's just a nightmare for centre-backs and full-backs and defenders in general because you don't know if you're following the guy or if you're passing him onto your teammate. That split second of indecision against a quality side like us is what hurts defenders. So I would like to see Hojlund given that licence to make that movement on a more regular basis. I think it's something he really showcased at Atalanta last season. And it was one of the reasons I was so excited about signing him. His threat in the channel. We haven't really seen it at United. We haven't seen a massive sample size of it anyway. Hopefully tonight, again, with fullbacks from Chelsea, which are going to push high. Hopefully he can exploit that. Hopefully. I don't want to see Rashford until the 70th or 75th. I've got a feeling he will get on a little bit earlier than that, simply for the case of protecting Garnacho. I do feel as though Rashford for Garnacho is a fairly obvious sub in this game to give them both a bit of time on the pitch, but also a bit of time out. I feel like it makes sense. So again, I would perhaps expect that around the 60th, 65th. I could see Rashford and Mount coming on at a similar time in the game, to be honest, to, once again, protect our two young players. I could see that happening. Of course, McTominay is going to be there or thereabouts as well in terms of getting on the pitch. Ahmad, possibly, although I'm not sure. Perhaps depends on the performance level which Anthony is producing. Not sure. Slicing through, diagonals are indeed the way. Slicing through zones and forcing people to keep up with their shifting responsibilities. Exactly. The second, if I'm Disasi and I'm on Hojlund, let's say someone's got the ball, let's say Kobe Mainoo's got the ball here, right? And Gusto's on Garnacho, Hojlund's on Disasi. Naturally, that is their man. The second that Hojlund goes this way, and Garnacho goes this way, as Gusto, am I just meant to deal with the zone here on Hojlund? But if so, there's a moment where he's unmarked, because he's being passed over. You know, is Disasi now meant to take up Garnacho? Again, as they cross over, there's a moment where they're both unmarked. Or are you meant to follow them across? Is Disasi meant to follow Hojlund here? And is Gusto meant to follow Garnacho? Suddenly they're in uncomfortable positions. They're crossing over each other. I just feel like it's an absolute nightmare for defenders. And I want to see us do that more. Is Dalot left back and Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back confirmed? It's not. It's not confirmed at the moment. This is kind of what I've kind of live as I've reacted to the 11 basically come towards. I feel like it maybe works a little bit better. You guys know that I'm not actually a massive fan of Dalot left back, Wan-Bissaka right back, but I do see the reasoning behind it in this game. I do see the reasoning. Mainly getting the right sort of players isolated against someone like Mudryk, but also against Palmer as well. I feel like this balance almost suits them a little bit better. Here we go again. Despite Chelsea's woes, there's still no chance of a win for United. Okay, fair enough. You're entitled to that opinion. Wonder if you said the same before the Liverpool game the other week. I wonder. Tell you what, Chelsea are not as good as that Liverpool side, which we beat. I will say that much. I want to see more of Ahmad playing. He deserves time. I mean, like I said, he's got a shot at getting on in this game. I don't know if he will, but he could do. He could do for Anthony if Anthony's struggling a little bit, or if Anthony's fatiguing because he's not used to playing 90 minutes every week at the moment, Anthony. Possibly. That's an interesting point as well there. Rashford potentially coming on up front. You know, do you think that Hojlund's got 90 minutes in him right now? I'm not sure he has. So that gives Ahmad a chance, realistically. Because if we're thinking we've got to protect Garnacho, Hojlund might need a bit of protection as well, but also Anthony's not been playing 90 minutes recently. Rashford on, Ahmad on, Mount on, they're all possible solutions to those sorts of problems. You beat Chelsea in the same way you beat Liverpool, to be honest, intensity. Yeah, this game, I'll say it again, it's just going to be bonkers, I think. I think it's just going to be bonkers. I might be wrong, and this might turn out to be a really dull game, and if so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, and this is a really dull, drab, 0-0 bore fest. If that happens, I mean, it's not my fault, but I'll be sorry. I have built this up as an exciting game. I'm not saying quality game, by the way. I'm saying exciting. Maybe for all the wrong reasons, but I'm just expecting entertainment. I just am. Could be quite a mess of a game for Mount to come in and try and get sharpness, but he needs playing time for sure. I mean, the worst case scenario for Mount is to come in and either get injured, obviously, but drop a poor performance away at Chelsea. That would hurt. That would hurt him. I know that would. So, yeah, it's not the ideal circumstance for him to come into. I think it depends on the game state at the time. If we were 2-0 up, for example, and Chelsea are pushing on towards us, having Mount on the pitch to then transition is probably actually a really nice opportunity for him to bring something, you know, get into a bit of form, show his energy, his ball carrying, etc. If we're 2-0 down, please no, but if we are, and Chelsea are starting to sit a little bit deeper, then it's probably not a great game for him to come onto. So, it'll be an interesting one. Isn't Garnacho better at right wing? In my opinion, yes, but I think Ten Hag will go for this way around. I guess it could be the other way around, right? Anthony left, Garnacho right. Just to completely change our attacking dynamic, because again, the weekend and recently we've had the problem of too many right-footed players, particularly down the left-hand side, leading to us being really predictable. Anthony on the left could offer a solution to that. It could offer a solution to that. I wouldn't mind it. I think it's unlikely, just because naturally the two of them prefer to play the other side. But it could happen. It could happen. If Mount kisses the badge today, the money was worth it. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. That's good analysis. I like it. Just reading up in chat to see if there's anything I've missed. Subs at 60 seems like it's pre-planned. Yeah, within reason, I think so. I do think so. Score predictions, good idea. Score predictions, how are we feeling? I've said all day, I don't know why, 3-1. I'm weirdly, like, not confident, but I still just think we win. If you know what I mean? Again, I think the game state helps. I think we win 3-1 in this game. That's my belief. How are you guys feeling? Are you feeling confident about the game? Again, I wouldn't say confident in the sense, like, I'm actually quite nervous about it. I feel like it's huge for our season, I'll say that again. Chelsea can cause us a lot of problems. Again, I think my confidence is coming from, I see an insanely end-to-end game, transitional-based game, and I think in those moments, we've got the better players. I think we've got the better players in those moments, which is why I think we win, basically. That's kind of my thought process. Expect Chelsea to have a lot of chances, and for that reason, they could easily put 3 past us. I think we'll have a lot of chances, so we could put 3 past them. That's kind of what I'm expecting. When was the last time we had a truly two-footed player? To be honest, none spring to mind. None spring to mind. United have managed to make me superstitious, so I'm not predicting. Fair enough. Yeah, Greenwood was probably our last two-footed player. Yeah, that's a fair shout. That is a fair shout. Go on then. Score predictions before we finish. Score predictions for the game. I'm going to go 3-1. I do have one more question as well, actually. If we don't win, is the Premier League season pretty much over for us? Or do you think we'll still be there or thereabouts? You know, if we lose today, particularly, does that do kind of irreversible damage for this season in the Premier League? In terms of, can we catch Villa? Can we catch Spurs? Kind of already is. Yes, I was having a look at the table earlier. And if we win games in hand alone, right? Just games in hand. It's a big if. If we win our games in hand on Spurs, we'll be 6 points behind them with 8 games to go, which I think is really doable. And we've got 2 games in hand on Villa, so if we were to win those 2, we would have 7 games to go, and we would be, I've lost track now, 5 points behind, I believe. They're really catchable. They are catchable because I think they'll both stutter before the end of the season. That's the big thing. That is the big thing. I do think they will both stutter. I think they will both drop points. It's just, can we win enough? I think basically, if we lose tonight and Sunday, I think it's done, to be honest. I think it's near enough done. I think if we win tonight and could do something Sunday, suddenly we're in a very different position. A very, very different position. We have to win, I don't really see it. Yeah, I feel that we have to win tonight. More than the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game is one of those ones where, as horrid as it sounds, by the way, for where we are as a football club, any bonus points we get there is seen as a bonus. This is the one where we've got to go win. We've got to go win this game. If not, it leaves us in quite a precarious position. Because if we don't win our 2 games in hand on Villa, by the way, we'll be 11 points behind with 7 to go. Now, I think Villa will drop points. But that much? That many? In 7 games? I'm not so sure. So, it's a big game for us tonight. And in my opinion, I don't know if you guys are the same, I do feel that the most important thing is we've just got to win. I would like a good performance. I would like to see a good pressing structure. Obviously, for the long term, I would love to see that. I would love to see us play well on the ball, dominate, control, counter press when we lose it, defend transitions, whatever. I would love to see all of it. But tonight we just need 3 points. We've just got to stay there. We've just got to stay there or thereabouts. We'll have Arsenal in the 37th game week. I mean, yeah, that doesn't help either. But we've got some really tough games to go still. Some real tough games. Tonight is almost one of the easier ones, which again says a lot about Chelsea. I just think we've got to win. I think if we don't win, we're in a heap of trouble. I think we're in a real bad spot. We have the ability to score early, just saying. Absolutely. And the Chelsea crowd in Stamford Bridge at the moment is a little bit of a weird one. I've heard Pochettino booed in recent weeks. Raheem Sterling booed in recent weeks. You know, Chelsea ain't exactly all sunshine and roses either, right? Let's be honest. Chelsea are in a bad place. I looked at the table earlier and went, yeah, they're safe from relegation. That's crazy that I said that about Chelsea, by the way. That's what it says about them. So yeah, it's not a happy place, Chelsea, either. If we draw, it does nothing to the table. I mean, it gives us a point. But yeah, it's probably not enough. It's probably not quite enough. I just think Spurs and Villa are so catchable. That's the annoying thing. Spurs and Villa are good. They've got really good things about them. But I just think they're both weak in certain ways as well. So Spurs have Forest, Newcastle, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's their next 4 games. And they also have City to play somewhere as well, I think. Come on. They're going to drop points there. How about Villa? What have Villa got? Villa have got, first of all, the Conference League, which is going to take up some time. Villa have got Arsenal, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool. We can catch them, but we do have to win tonight to have any chance of catching them. And I think that's pretty much where I want to leave the stream, unless we have anything else to say last minute. Spurs are already shaky recently. Yeah, I mean, I know you're fully aware of this, Mark, because I've seen you on Discord. The amount of times Spurs in recent weeks should not have got points. There's been a lot of games where they've been incredibly fortunate to come away with a point, let alone 3 in some of their games. So if we go out there and make it happen, put some points on the board, put a string of results together, the pressure's going to be on those clubs. And I can see them capitulating under that. It's just a big if whether we can go get the wins, right? It's a big if. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap the stream up there, unless anyone has any last minute questions or anyone wants to donate like £5,000 or something. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not, but I'm kidding, but I'm not, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think I am happy to wrap the stream up there, because I don't think we've got too much else to say. The fact that we've done a stream on this afternoon as well, I feel like we've covered most points on Chelsea and us. We haven't had too many shocks with the starting 11, so there's only, again, so much to talk about, right? I mean, if someone like Ahmad had started, that would have been more of a surprise, but he hasn't, so fair enough. So I do think for today's stream we are finished, and that does wrap up today's content. A day where the support has been incredible. We're currently on 142 viewers right now, which is insane. 74 likes, greatly appreciated. Just in general. The support in chat, absolutely brilliant as always. Lots of engagement, lots of good talk, respectful talk, different opinions. We listen to each other. I like it. I do like it. It's a good place to be. But in terms of for today, we are wrapping up there. So basically, guys, just go enjoy your evenings or your afternoon or your morning or your night, wherever you are. Just go enjoy the game. We just had a $5 donation from, is that Ragnar? Thank you very much. That is greatly appreciated. What an absolute legend. Just saying, nice work, mate. Keep it up. Thank you very much, mate. Guys, turn the chat green to say thank you to Ragnar. What a hero. Thank you very much, my friend. That is really appreciated. That is super generous of you. So thank you very much. Guys, spam some love hearts in the chat to show your appreciation. Ragnar, out of nowhere. Thank you very much. Anyway, apart from that, enjoy your evening, guys. Enjoy the game, hopefully. If you don't enjoy the game, don't let it completely ruin your day. Depending on, where you are in the world, do something after it. Watch a film, watch a different football match, talk to some friends or family, play a game, go kick a football, go, I don't know, headbutt a wall or something. Probably don't do that. But, enjoy the rest. Don't let the football ruin your night. hopefully it makes our nights. Hopefully. Hopefully. Ten Hag's got something up his sleeve. We're going to cook. Anthony, Garnacho, Hojlund. 3-1 win. We're laughing. Tomorrow morning, video analysing the game, breaking down, hopefully, how Manchester United beat Chelsea to keep the Premier League season alive, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. United.